So in terms of infrastructure, also you are proposing something much bigger than like all these things are, you know, these are all makeshift things like only for IFFI they are converted into theatres. Like Kala Akademi is not a film theatre in that sense.
I firmly believe that if Goa is to be a hub of films centre and a hub of IFFI film festivals, then we need a space, a convention centre which can handle about 5 to 10,000 people with small theatres around. If you look at a Ferris wheel, the major dome-shaped building with other theatres around, so that you can come in, meet in the central venue, then go to your theatres, and it becomes then a yearly event which the whole world looks to.
Yeah.
And then also in the evening, I thought, as I said earlier, our future is that we will have world premieres here. But how will we be different? What attracts the foreign delegates and filmmakers here, apart from showcasing their films and getting a juicy prize? Just like we were discussing just now.
Yeah.
It's not that. We need content. We need to have powerful films that make an impact globally, that are talking about a global concern, issues. Hurt Locker is one of the, and a Beautiful Mind, a classic example of universal subjects. But once we have done that, we have to take this forward. And for that reason, we need to have dedicated master classes in the latest technology.
Yeah, right.
Where our youngsters, our filmmakers get exposure to the best in the world.
Yeah.
Also, I have a very small suggestion to add with him. Like Berlin Film Festival or Busan Film Festival or Cannes Film Festival, they have this Berlinale Talent Campus going along with Berlin Main Film Festival, where they invite young talents from all over the world. Same thing going along with Busan Film Festival, they have Asian Film Academy. So we can have an Indian Film Academy going along with it, inviting young talents from all over the country and having master classes, workshops, interaction, and they put a lot of energy to the festival also. I mean, you have a very young crowd who are watching movies and taking part in the master classes, and I mean creating a lot of buzz and energy inside the festival also.
And a lot of youngsters coming this time, and a couple of them want to make documentaries. So I was asking Lakshmikant, do documentary filmmakers have to pay a fees? Because there is some rule that you have to pay 10,000 rupees to a line producer. You don't need a line producer in documentaries. So there's no clarity in that area. So when you bring about certain things like this, there has to be a paper. There is a paper, I saw that, but it's slightly vague.
Okay.
What about documentary filmmakers? What about educational? Because the budgets are very low. No documentary filmmakers can afford to pay 10,000 rupees to a line producer or 1,500. And in fact, 2 of them were Goans. So if they live in this country, in this state, then
we'll discuss about all this. We'll just take a small break and then we'll come back to you. We'll just take a small break. Keep watching Prudent Media. Namaskar and Yogar Tumka Prudent Media आमच्या सप्तकी कार्यावळीत Jagor, and today's Jagor we are having on IFFI. Yesterday the IFFI 42nd IFFI is over, and we were discussing here whether this IFFI was different from all the IFFI which he had seen in Goa. And we were just discussing about IFFI, and you were saying that in what way it will be different and all. But you know, in IFFI, when it started in Goa was a nice place and it was a tourist attraction for the whole world. And also it was basically, it started as a Bollywood centric thing where a lot of glamour also needs to be added. That was the thought. And now slowly it is still Bollywood centric. You think that it should go away from this Bollywood centric thing?
I don't think it is, as you say, Bollywood centric. It's about Indian cinema really. And what needs to be seen is Bollywood, as I would say, is not our cinema really. It's a money making commercial cinema, mainstream cinema. But if you look at the masters like Bimal Roy, Guru Dutt, Ghatak, Satish Ray, they all made powerful films. Mani Ratnam, all these, we need. Life is, though what you see coming from Bombay film industry mainly, a lot of emphasis on fantasies, but life is realistic also. We need realism in cinema. That is how we differ from other cinema that you see, what people talk about good cinema. And cinema does influence people. So there is a need for good cinema. There's a need to share our cultural heritage tradition with the rest of the country.
No, cinema is one part, which this year that way there was not too much of Bollywood as far as cinema is concerned, except some maybe retrospectives and paying homage to this, that, or not. But basically, you know, getting Shah Rukh Khan for inauguration, getting Madhuri Dixit for Indian Panorama. So still that attraction is there, and finally you are basically making these people, they are great people, not others.
Yeah, sure. But they are, you see, it's like honey pot attracts the honeybee. But there has to be a certain sense of responsibility also. And this is what needs to be talked to about with, if Dilip Kumar came, he would have come with a lot of crowds, he would have spoken with dignity and sat through the film and left. The tragedy this year was that we had a celebrity, he came in with lots of people, the hall was chock-a-block full, people were standing in the aisles, but when he left, after the inauguration, the crowd left. And that is damaging to a film.
And there was hardly 40-50 people in the auditorium to watch the inaugural film.
Yeah, that was very embarrassing for us all, and we had to bring other people. So,
no, what do you feel, two of you, because the two young people are there, and basically for the youngsters also, this Bollywood or this glamour becomes a major thing, so that should become a major thing, but what is it?
I mean, Bollywood people are there everywhere in our life. Like they are in television, they are in pastry, they are everywhere. There is no point holding a national or international film festival to celebrate their celebrity status. I mean, festivals are for celebrating cinema and the directors. You won't believe. I mean, when the Busan Film Festival takes place, they put photographs of the directors everywhere in the city, because film festivals are about the directors, the writers, the good actors. So you have to celebrate good cinema and directors in the film festival.
Tell me one thing, this for common men, this glamour and all these things are important, and that's why for common men, even in Goa, IFFI is important because of this glamour. If you take out this glamour, in what way common men will benefit?
We're not asking it to be taken out, we're just asking it to be managed more better. We do need this, it's about inclusive growth. We cannot work in isolation, we need them also. We need cinema people from Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, everywhere to come together. Even Bombay film industry should come together. They are part of our system. But a little more responsibility is requested, so that please respect the filmmaker whose film you are seeing. How will you feel if somebody walks out of your film show?
Yeah.
I just want to kind of, I mean, I'm sorry to intervene, but what Sanjay says that common wants this Bollywood people, I actually disagree with that. I mean, I wanted to ask the question, then when we are saying that common men want Shah Rukh Khan and Madhuri Dixit, how much common men has been shown a film by Mike Pandey or Supriyo Sen or Lakshmikant? See, what is the exposure of our kind of cinema, which is zero. Now we are talking about Goa, because I am in Goa. How many film screenings have happened in Goa before IFFI? None. So unless you expose people to good cinema, unless there is a film society movement, unless the good cinema goes to villages and smaller places, how would people be aware of the that the Supriyo Sen film is much better than a Shah Rukh Khan film?
Don't you think that this whole thing starts with short films? Short film is the first step towards that, where good cinema, people will start taking interest.
It brings you a question, why do we make films? There are entertainment films that entertainment and go. It's like eating a lollipop. But then there's rice and food that keeps you alive. There are value-based films that give you something, that transform your thinking. And that's what short films are. They are tools of educations. They are agents of change. And they're an integral part of our society. If you want to educate, short filmmakers are realistic filmmakers. They don't sell dreams only. We are not against entertainment films. They should be a part of our life systems. But there is an equal part, if not larger, for these type of films, short films, that bring about revolutions, mindset changes all across. And if you look, many of these films have brought legislation, they have changed rules, they have empowered people, built capacities, and helped people save their own lives. Even public health films, they give you a value.
Your films have changed so much in India, especially with the males and
yeah, I've been lucky that I was at the right place at the right time. And having done that, we move on to the next subject. You see, the thing is, how many people know that malaria, for example, begins only 100 meters around their house? Destroy the mosquitoes' breeding place. Mosquitoes are not tourists that they come from Agra or from the Ganges. So this type of small information is still required. 67% of India is still illiterate.
So what do you feel, Supriyo? Short film is still neglected, and if it should have more space in
No, the contrast here is you have a great resource here. Like you are giving very good awards in the short film center. You are inviting all the directors, not even the big, I mean, famous short film festival. They don't have the resource to invite all the directors, but you do. So you have a good infrastructure. You have good money to support short filmmakers. But the selection process, I think you have to evaluate it. I mean, whom you invite, who. I mean, you have to. Really think of having serious programmers who work throughout the year. Otherwise, I mean, you spend so much money and you get very less amount of films. And I mean,
tell me one thing: you are steering committee chairman. Do you require to tag this short film center, Chota Cinema, and all these things with IFFI, where it is just showcased there, but it is completely neglected? Hardly anybody goes there.
Supriyo said there is no film festival in India that has a price tag award of 4 lakhs. As the top prize. This is one of the best and the biggest. But again, this brings us the question, hundreds of festivals are taking place all over India, but festivals by themselves mean nothing. We need to make films that reach people. The documentary scene is dying only because we don't have a platform. Why do we make films? To reach out to people. But if there's no platform, what do we do? At the same time, you cannot water down the short film, which is a very, very powerful tool. So why don't you have a small film, totally separate 5-day event,
a separate short film festival?
Absolutely, totally focused. Right now, because of IFFI is a giant, and big things are happening, it gets sidelined. The short film gets sidelined and does not get the platform it deserves.
And maybe the award-winning films in this short film festival can be showcased in IFFI.
For sure,
for the whole international audience.
For inspiration and also for overlapping, because short film makers do aspire to make big films also.
Okay, I have just 2 minutes left with me. Just all three of you, can you tell us in what way now IFFI will be different from next year? I'll come to you last almost because you might have lots of plans, but there are 2 young filmmakers sitting here.
Absolutely.
In what way it should be different?
I mean, as I told before, you have to create a Asian debut competition. You have to create also, I mean, you have to attach fundings with the for new filmmakers with the festivals, like all big festivals, Rotterdam, Busan, Berlinale. They have certain kind of grant making going on throughout the year for the young filmmakers. So that should be there. Also, you should give importance to documentary and short film, because they are the future filmmakers of your country. If you don't give them importance, your culture of, your tradition of filmmaking, your history will, I mean, just abolished one day.
I think the future would be a festival which is very educative and where projects happen in the film festival. Like most of the bigger film festivals, project materialize during the festival. There are co-production markets, there are people meeting each other and making quality cinema. So what India needs is, you know, production of quality cinema, and if he can provide that platform.
Yeah, my challenge is you to tell everything in 1 minute.
Yeah, I think next year we are hoping for something new. When the delegates come, they must go back with something. So how about a fashion show where we have people from 6-7 different states with their traditional clothes, traditional food, traditional music every evening. So when people go, they go with pictures of 7 different faces of India.
Wow.
Nothing doesn't happen anywhere in the world. That will make IFFI unique, and that's what we are targeting. Give India to the people in the evenings and give them the best of the films in the world during the day.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was something very nice, and thank you all of you for giving us something. I think from next year, IFFI will be different with all filmmakers like you heading the committee and coming out with all these thoughts. म्हाका दिसता IFFI म्हणजे फक्त ग्लॅमर न्ही, IFFI म्हणजे फक्त बॉलिवूड न्ही, IFFI म्हणजे फक्त जगातली कोणतरी येतात तशी न्ही. इंडियन रिजनल सिनेमा वेगळो असता, डॉक्युमेंटरीज असतात, शॉर्ट फिल्म्स असतात, जगातली वेगवेगळी फिल्म असतात. ही सगळी फिल्मां पळोवपा खातीर आमी आयली जाल्यार आमकां कळटलें. त्या दिसल्यानी इंडियेंतले सगळे बरे फिल्म मेकर जे आसा ते एकठांय येवन कितें तरी गोंया भितर हाडपा सोदतात. हे सगळे गजालीचो आमी फायदो घेवया आनी IFFI कडेन ते नदरेन पळोवया. I once again thank all 3 of you for coming and giving us something, a food for thought. Thank you very much. आणि पळयत रावात प्रुडंट मिडिया.